Hey, Brad. Hey, Jenna. Hey, Brian. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
Well,
Hey,
Ryan,
howdy.
Brad,
Happy Monday, y'all.
Fantastic. Amazing.
It is a Mini 4 Monday, that's for sure, right? The Mini 4 is out, and there's so many questions about it that are now being answered, especially with the pricing, right? Now, what do you think about the pricing, guys?
I
yeah,
think it's
it's
cross.
competitive.
Yep.
I'm just gonna say, no, it's competitive, and um, I think we're gonna have to see. I mean, just we're just chatting about it right before the show. It's competitive, but how compatible is it based
That's
upon
Right.
important.
like AccuSync and things like that? So competitive,
Yeah,
and
we can.
yeah,
If you want, we can go over the pricing real quick. Let me share my screen out,
Sure, sure.
and we can. I mean, I'm sure folks have already seen this, but you can see my screen out. Here's the DJI's
Let me,
website, the store.
yeah, let me see. Where's your request? Ah, there it is at the bottom. Hang on one second. I was telling Jenna I'm using a new setup, so I'm going to be more clumsy than usual. Okay, so there we are. We see the
Yep. So this is
device.
let me go back up to the top a little bit. Mini 4 Pro, which for folks coming into our stream, our YouTube live right now, it was announced this morning at 9 o'clock, and YouTube was flooded with a bunch of Mini 4 Pro videos from the people that have had it for a couple of weeks. But this looks like the pricing for it now. We got with the RC N2, which is just the standard remote. It looks like it's $759 from DJI, and then if you upgrade it to the RC2, you jump it up to $959, which is a nice upgrade. I highly recommend that unless you already have one. And then move it up to the Fly More combo, which they have all packaged nicely here together, and that's with the 249 gram or less batteries, which are the standard batteries. And if you bump up to the heavier batteries, you're not going to be in that sub 249 grams, but you're going to get more flight time. So you go from, and just a quick overview of that. Let's see if I can share this tab instead. Don't want to subscribe. Let me shut this stuff down. But you're looking at 34 to 45 minutes. So 34 with the standard batteries that come with it, and 45 with the other batteries. But again, it depends on what your needs are. If you already have a Mini 3 or a Mini 3 Pro, you don't really need to get the Fly More kit or the drone with the remote control, really. Where we were debating earlier before the show started whether or not our equipment that comes with the Mini 3 Pro will work with this Mini 4 Pro. So that's the question right now.
I'm looking at the Mini 4 Pro Flymore combo at 1159 is the price. So probably by the time you walk out of with the U.S. government tax and your state tax, you're probably going to be just north of 1,200 bucks. Pretty good deal considering in that Flymore combo you get a ND filters and you also get a wide angle lens in there. I watched Dustin Dunnell's review today. I know that you guys probably watched the review, and Dustin Dunnell just did the unboxing and did a really good job with that. What channels have you watched, Jenna or Brian? And have you guys and Brad? What have you guys been watching? Who's been influencing your?
Well, I was just watching Ron Brown's channel on that, and he was going over. I don't think he had one, but he was going over all the specs that had already come out and telling you, I mean, I know Ron for a long time. He's a friend of mine, um, so he was going over all the specs and talking about how the batteries were going to be able to be interchangeable and all this. And to me, I mean, this is just my opinion, right? This upgrade from the 3 to the 4 to me seems along the line of this iPhone 14 to iPhone 15. It's really not that big of a deal. It's just really not. Brad was just saying, yeah, it has maybe a little bit more of the obstacle avoidance or something like that. But as far as a full-blown upgrade, I don't think it is that much of one. Because what tells you that it's not is that it uses the same battery. So they didn't change the body design that much, or the battery wouldn't fit in there.
Right.
Right. So, Jenna, who did you end up watching?
So, I watched Ken, and, I kind of like, he was saying what the Mini 4 Pro feels like, finally a pro drone, basically in a mini skin, in essence. Mm-hmm. And, but I'm kind of like with Bryan. I mean, all around obstacle avoidance, right? I mean, we kind of been waiting for that, and who knows? Maybe the Air 3 Pro will have that also, if it doesn't have it. But one thing I caught, being a little bit of a photographer, I get like 48 megapixels, like effective megapixels in essence. It's like, but what is it still? Is it like still 12 megapixels?
Right. It's software driven to 48, right?
Yeah, how many bits you have behind it, right, to really push?
Right, and like one of the guys that I follow on the iPhone, he's saying, you're not gaining that much more resolution when you take a 12 megapixel sensor and you chop each pixel into 4. You just not. It just doesn't work as well as you think it does.
Yeah, because you have a little bit of the real estate, right? And you're cutting it up.
You're not getting any more color from that one pixel. So you're not getting any more informational discrimination based upon, what you're seeing, which is, at the end of the day, that's what resolution is.
Yeah, the good thing they have here in the video, the bit rate, and I'll go ahead and share this with you guys. Did I add it? Oh, add to stage. No, let me see if I can share my screen. Present screen. All right. I got a new setup, but I'm trying to get this dialed in here. Sorry.
One thing I'll say about
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, just to go off of what Jenna just said, and Dubbo's video is the one I watched originally this morning, but the first one I could watch. And he, he says, and I kind of agree, if you already have a Mini 3, you have a Mini 3 Pro, you have an Air 3, you have any of those drones right now, you don't need this drone unless you want a backup drone, or you just really want one of the features that this new drone has, like the obstacle avoidance, 360 obstacle avoidance. But in my case, if I was going to get that drone, I would get rid of the Mini 3 Pro and sell that, and then maybe keep all the components that came with it, and just buy the Mini 4 Pro and have the drone with the obstacle avoidance that I really want. And that's something I really want. Some of the intelligent flight modes that it has. And then we were talking before the show, Bryan had some good points. I usually turn off the obstacle avoidance if I'm just free flow, and without the intelligent flight modes. And I don't use those a lot, but when I do, I want to trust the drone to not hit anything. And a lot of time people get in trouble by using those intelligent flight modes on a drone that doesn't have sideways obstacle avoidance. So they hit trees, they're doing these circle shots or these boomerang shots, whatever, and they're hitting things because the drone just doesn't see it. But this drone is going to be able to take care of that for the most part.
Yeah, you're right. Most of those crashes occur on lateral flights, right? Because you're kind of sliding sideways and you run into something you don't see on your side, right? In a sense, you're blindsided. And now we don't have that blind side. Sorry about that, guys. And so you're not blindsided anymore because of those sensors. One of the things that really stood up to me is that with the new camera, you are now able to shoot at 200 frames a second in 1K. You're able to shoot at 100 frames a second in 4K. Right. So those are the two big differences. And not only can you shoot, you could also shoot in your vertical mode. So what we're saying here is this is a perfect little setup for like slow-mo stuff. So Jenna, if you want to do
And
that
it's
dive into the pool with your hair flying in the air, you can
well, this
change
is going to
all
appeal.
into the water.
Well, that vertical mode, to your point, that's going to appeal to a lot of, I want to say, younger folks or people that use the social media platforms. I don't know. I mean, vertical doesn't appeal to me so much because I don't use those social media sites necessarily that have that feature, or the vertical 16 by 9 or 9 by 16.
916.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't use that very often. And we got away from that for many years. And, when we finally went to landscape, whenever anybody used vertical or portrait mode, everybody jumped on them like a swarm of bees. It's like, turn your phone. And now we've come full circle and everybody wants it back again.
Right.
Just because of
vertical.
these things, right?
Yeah. The whole world revolves around phones. That's
right. That's right. No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, well, I mean, right? I mean, where's most of the content seen on?
Right. That's true. That's true.
I don't know why I can't present this page, Brad. Maybe you could go to the DJI website and get the specs.
Okay, I'm there.
I cannot present it. Every time I try to present it, it is wigging out.
All right, hold on 1 second. I got the specs right here. I'll share.
Okay, thanks.
And you,
I
just
know
let me know where
everybody.
you want it.
So Jenna, you're a big photographer person. So the maximum photo size is 8064 by 6048, 48 megapixels. And if you're shooting video, you have 150 megabits of information in that video. So you can definitely get a lot out of your videos.
It would be a really nice video. I mean, like in camera too. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, and I probably not going to get it because I have the Air 2S, which is, I mean, like I have the whole fleet of like drones. I mean, starting with a Spark anyway, but the Air 2S for me is the only one right now that is RID compliant, and that's a nice drone. And some people get a drone like that because it's going to be a nice travel drone, keep it in the car drone. You've always got one handy sort of drone. Versus like you're not going to treat that drone like a Mavic 3 Pro.
Yeah, you could definitely take a loss on that one, right? And
right.
You'd be upset, but you wouldn't be crying.
Right. And but I might want something a little bit more. So I'm honestly, I'm kind of waiting for the Air 3 Pro the Air 3 Pro to come out.
Yeah.
Now, I noticed that DJI they tossed out an update there for the Mini 3 Pro like 2 days before this thing drops. So I'm wondering if this is the old, okay, it's time to brick your last model,
Right.
And so you'll have to go get the Mini 4 Pro. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll put this little booger in here, so you get a little frustrated with it, like because that happened when they came out with the Mini 2. Okay, for the Mini 1 they put an update out. This was a big deal because I remember being on some shows talking about they put an update out for the original Mini like a day or two before the Mini 2 came out, and it was causing all kinds of grief. This update, people were screaming their heads off. It was just dropping out of the sky and toilet bowling and doing all kinds of crazy crap. That's a conspiracy. Get your hat on.
So I was flying yesterday with a friend, and my controller broke, and it's in pretty sad shape. I'll show you guys what it looks like. It's pretty sad.
Oh my gosh! What in the world? That didn't just break. What did you do?
Like it caught on fire.
Well, I took it all apart and probably fixing it. The gimbal on it got pushed in this way,
right,
and it punched through the back.
It looked like it looks like it arced back there, but I guess not. But it sure looked like it did.
You see all those points right there that are white?
Yeah, I see them.
That's the super glue hack.
Oh, okay.
and it's gonna work. But I ordered a freaking new gimbal for it. I got it, and guess what they sent me?
The wrong one.
They sent me the one for the new controller, the one that
No, my God. See.
you know. So
They
I'm like,
do what they do.
you know, this is not the same size. Just too small. It's hard to see. You know,
Yeah.
you get the point.
Looks a little smaller. Looks a little smaller.
So yeah. So I forgot where I was headed with all this before I started down that avenue. I was showing you my controller.
Well, I do have the specs page up there.
Yeah, let's
Al, if you want
take
to
a
look
look at the spec page. There we are. Let's make it large.
So you let me know when you want me to scroll it.
Yeah, just kind of take off weight. That's 249. So as we add ND filters, we're definitely going to be over the limit of 250. Dimensions, it looks bigger. It is bigger. It's taller.
Yep, it's got front landing feet on it now, whereas it didn't have those before.
Yeah, that's right. And they put that antenna on the front.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, antennas.
And let's go ahead and put our talking faces in here. All right. Yeah. So it is bigger. It's got the antenna up front. Maximum takeoff weight. Okay. Keep going down. Maximum flight time. They're all the same, right? 30, 34 and 45 is what you get out of yours, right, Brad?
Yeah, I think that's what it's supposed to be.
3?
You know, my Mini 3. I think that's close to what the numbers are. I didn't look that up and compare, but I think it's really close.
What's big deal here is that 18-kilometer distance and a 25-kilometer distance.
Right.
So I don't know where they're getting the 25. Can you read that, Brad, for us? What does that say?
It says, let's see. Oh, it depends on your elevation.
Okay.
In a windless, so 18 is at 20 meters above sea level. 25 is, wait a minute, it is the same thing. Oh, it's the two different batteries. So it's the two different batteries.
Yeah, Intelligent Flight Battery Plus, and measured flight at 44.3 miles per hour in a windless environment at 20 meters above.
Yeah.
So basically, they're telling us, you know, the algorithms is able to calculate this, or you manually can calculate this.
Right.
Okay. So pitch angle 35 degrees, not that bad. So he can stand on his nose, his tail, or on the side, a pretty good degree right there. What's our maximum speed? Was it 10 meters a second maximum wind speed?
And your speed's up here, maximum ascent speed, horizontal speed.
16 meters a second is what I'm looking at.
Sport mode, yeah.
Is that correct? That is comparable to the Mini 3, right?
Yeah, I think it is. It's very similar, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the biggest things we didn't mention up above, but we'll get to it though, is this is now OcuSync 4. And that's another reason why we can get, sorry, I keep scrolling. That's another reason why we can get this 18 kilometers with the regular standard battery and 25 kilometers with the Intelligent Battery Plus.
Yeah, and so when you get to that transmission
yeah, we're getting down
section,
there.
we'll talk about. But here's a camera.
Yeah,
so it's the same, though it's got a better field of view than the Mini 3.
Yeah,
hey,
I'm gonna back up
internal storage. It says 2 gigabytes. What's that?
I know. That's exactly.
One photo.
What are they?
Maybe
I still don't understand. I still don't understand. They can throw a 128 gigabyte chip on these things. That's the size of the end of a pen.
Right.
And it wouldn't cost them probably double the cost of this 2 gigabyte chip.
Right.
I don't even know why they keep throwing. I mean, throw something in there that we can use.
Right.
I mean, 32.
I know that's almost an insult. I mean, a transistor.
Hey, Jenna, at that 150 megabit video, that'll be about a 3/4 of a second video.
Pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, no, pretty much.
I remember on my Mavic Air, when that Mavic Air first came out, the original Mavic Air, it shot in 100 megabit, okay? man, them files were huge. Okay, those files were gigantic because I was coming from the Mavic Pro, which only had about 45 megabit. Okay,
Right.
the Mavic Air went up to 100 megabit, and the difference in the file sizes was unbelievable. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that will get you about a quarter of a second of video, 2 gigabytes.
You know, and here you go for photos.
Yeah.
12. You know, and it's like, yeah, whatever. I mean, you know, and that's why I hope with the Air 3 Pro
Or Air 3S maybe.
or however they're going to call it or whatever, that they
Right.
stick with a 20 megapixel camera. And if they want to chop each one of those pixels up and make an 80 effective megapixels, great, whatever. But I hope they stick with a, you know, like an honest to God 20 megapixel camera.
Yeah, but if you keep going into the video, the still modes here are exactly the same, 48 megapixels and the
Yeah.
size. Okay, so scroll down some more, Brad, into the video, and then we're going to be able to see.
Well, this video is, let's see, where are we at here?
It should be
Yeah.
down below that.
There it
video.
is. There it is.
So here's what this is the big differentiator here, Brad. If you highlight the 100 frames per second at 4K, and then highlight the 200 frames per second in 1K. So that's a huge differentiator here, guys, because previously on the Mavic 3, you could only shoot 4K 30. So you're getting more than twice the frame rate, okay? And you could, let's see, in 1K, you could only shoot at 60 frames a second. So this is big news right there. So that's telling us they probably have a better, faster processor now that's be able to handle the frame rates that we're looking at.
Right.
So
another thing they did too, they changed the color mode is an upgrade too, right? From the Mini 3. They went to you can do the HLG or the D-Log M, which I don't know. I don't know if the Mini 3 had that.
I'm looking at what is that color modes? Let me find the color modes. Is normal. That's the only thing they gave you in the Mini 3. So yes, Brad. Now we have that. We'll be able to shoot and log.
Right.
And where previously we did not have that option. Huh. Good one. Everybody's seeing nice little different things.
Yeah,
Bryan?
that's nice for the people that like to adjust be able to adjust their own videos to their liking.
This is looking like a real nice little setup if you don't have a Mini already, So
it looks like the digital zoom is not much improvement, right?
Digital zoom and photo? What here they show 4K and 2x, 2.7 and
we're in video right now, so that's not photo. So that's video. I don't know about where is photo. I don't see a zoom for photo. Is that
I don't
the
think
same?
they have a zoom for photo, Brad. They only have video.
Well, I was hoping they would in this particular drone. It would be a first, right?
Right, because then they would be probably eating a little bit into that Air 3, Mavic 3 market,
Yep. Oh yeah.
where you have the optical zooms.
Agreed.
That's the only thing I'm seeing here is in 1K you could do 4x zoom, in 2K you could do 3x zoom, and in 4K you do 2x zoom with the Mini 3. And
okay. So this is an upgrade then.
so what they're showing there is the same thing, 3 and 4. Yeah, so it is about the same thing. Yeah. So
it's a little bit better on the 4K. I think you said the Mini 3 could only go to 2x in 4K, right? So
correct.
This one will go 3.
Yeah, that is an upgrade. You're absolutely right. I missed that.
That's decent. That's decent, but it's still a digital zoom, so it's it's not a big improvement at all. But
no, because you could do that in post, right?
Yeah. You can punch in on any of those. Yeah.
Right. So yeah. Okay, and I checked on the vertical speed and the horizontal speed, and they're the same, 16 meters a second.
Right
And,
here is, where is it? There, was it up here? No, there it is.
in sports mode, you
That's
got 16
yeah.
meters a second. And let's see what the. I wonder if they change the numbers on ascending and descending. Let me double check on that.
It's probably similar, I would think. But
5 meters a second to ascend,
yep, same.
and 3.5 meters a second to descend.
For which mode?
For descending.
Yeah, but there's 3 modes: sport, normal, and cine.
Oh, they didn't actually delineate the differences.
Oh, okay.
They just probably give you the best that they had.
Right.
So it's slower
This
coming
might
down.
be this might be a little bit slower coming down in cine mode, which kind of makes sense. You don't want it to dive down in that mode, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so the Mini 3 could come down faster by half a meter a second. What does that mean? I don't know. I
You
guess
know something I just noticed, and y'all probably noticed this earlier, but I just noticed it. But this is listing the DJI Mini 3 series intelligent flight battery for this drone.
Oh, you're
So
right.
I didn't even see that earlier. They're showing the 3 battery in this listing of specs.
So they are putting skin in their game. They got documentation saying you could do it.
Yep, I hadn't seen that yet. I mean,
That's good.
now of course Dobo said you could do it. Russ said you could do it. 51 Drones, and a couple of people have said that in their videos. So that's nice to know. I still like that they they stuck with the same technology. It's a good battery. They don't swell, as far as I know, unless you have I've heard a couple people having issues with them cracking, but nothing major. Not like the Mini 2 series they had issues with, right?
Yeah, no, agreed. Yeah. And we did have a lot of issues with that. So
I still have my Mini 2, and I worry about those batteries. I try to keep them not charged up. I keep them down.
storage mode for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So the other trick, if you want to put them in storage mode, only fly to 50%, and then come back and land. You don't have to worry about it.
It's a good idea, especially if you got a couple of, you got to fly more.
Yeah, if you got 45-minute flight time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
20 minutes, you're like bored, right, Brian? Like I've seen the same bridge 50 times
I
now.
can't tell you how many drones I have with multiple batteries. I only use one.
I know.
All right, so here we are. Now we're in the we're out of the. Let's see. Did we go through the video side of it already? Yeah, we did the camera. There's the camera, the speed. Now the only thing we're at now is a gimbal. I'm not sure how this compares. I'm sure it's very similar, I would think, because I don't think they changed the gimbal mount at all. I think the camera's been upgraded a little bit, but the gimbal mount has not.
All right, so the point that we're trying to show you guys here is that there are so many similarities. You can use the batteries, but
Here's a big change right here, though.
Sensing time.
Omnidirectional,
huge
binocular vision system, and with 3D infrared sensor at the bottom of the aircraft, which we had in previous models.
So it's a LiDAR system, it looks like. So, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Now, one thing it makes me wonder, I saw Dennis Lovelady, he flies on the weekends. He does his sunrises and sings. He's a singing droner, but he showed his his Mavic 3 Pro camera sensors now have a feature to show video. So he can show the he can show video out of all the sensors around the drone on the outside, not on the downward ones.
It's black and white.
It's black and white.
Yeah.
And they're low grade videos, so they're low res, but it works. You can bring it up full screen. They get the props are in the picture, which is fine. It's a little there's not the shutter rate shows the prop spinning, stopping, spinning, stopping. But it's a
Now,
cool
this is out of the
feature.
optical avoidance. This is out of the optical avoidance sensors.
Yeah.
So they're
Yes.
showing video
Yes.
out of them. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that was one of the new things they just threw out to the latest firmware upgrade that people didn't know
So
they
it
were
was
getting.
already in there. They just had to unlock it.
Yep,
So they already
did.
had the feature in there when they manufactured it originally.
That's right.
They just
But I
never
think
said
that's-
nothing about it until they worked
I think-
out the bugs.
Well, you know what I think it's a cool feature is if you're up and you got birds around you, or I know you don't have enough time to really look at that, but if you really want to see what's beside your drone, if you're wanting to do some type of cinematic thing, even though we've got omnidirectional now on the Mini 4, you still might want to look out and go, okay, how far is a tree away from me? Without turning the drone, you might already be filming something.
Right.
You might anyway. There's a lot of different things you can do while you're in the air with that type of technology, but I don't know if they're going to give that anything like that to us on the Mini series. I wouldn't think they would.
Well, I mean, all good things kind of trickle down. I mean, as it becomes more common, easier to do, and they want, because at the end of the day, it's like, how many more like new features are they going to come up with? Like sensors and bit rates and megapixels and things.
Right.
LiDAR, it sounds so interesting.
Something. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, they have to come up with something for every new model, or nobody would buy it. So
right. I
They have
mean,
to have some kind of hook.
You got to sell a
Yeah.
feature.
Right. You got to have a feature.
yeah.
Like with this one is probably what Brad's talking about with his omnidirectional optical avoidance.
All right, guys, I'm going
selling features to a lot of people.
Yeah.
to corral you guys for a second here. I'm going to hopefully be able to share that video. Oh my gosh, it is buffering for some reason.
Hey, I don't do well in tight spaces when you corral, so be careful.
I'm going to stop sharing because it's not working.
Hey, wait, send me the link. Send me the link, Al.
I'll send you the link.
All right.
Copy. Select all. Select this. Copy.
Just send it in our joint chat with me and you and Jenna.
Okay.
Or
Oh,
you're gonna
yeah,
send
you
it
should
in?
have it in there. Jen already sent it in that chat.
Oh, okay. Let me open it. Okay, I do have it. Let me open that up and move it.
Yeah. So Jenna, for kind of give you guys context, Jenna put together a video, and it is unbelievable B-29 Super Fortress video, guys, and it is doing real well on the interweb, as some people like to call it. And so as soon as Brad gets it teed up here, I'll go ahead and share it.
I think I shared the audio. Oh, wait a minute. No, hold on. Let me stop that one for a second, Al, and redo it because I didn't share the audio.
Check that box in the lower left-hand quadrant, and we'll go.
Yep.
And then, Brian, we'll get together and we'll start chatting about all the other scooters and bikes you have and all the cool stuff. And then Jenna can talk about my crash at Minefield and the first stage she provided me and all the laughs that I provided for everybody else. All right, I think I can add you now, right?
Yeah. Now this is 1 hour and 18 minutes long, right? Or what is it?
So go to the part where they're getting ready to take off, which is the first quarter of it. Yeah, there you go. You're getting almost there. There you go. He's taxiing. And then Jenna's speaking.
All right, hold on. I'm sorry. I should have got this all straight.
Oh,
Here
no,
we go.
I put you in a bad spot here because I couldn't get this thing working. So.
It's all right. Here we go.
Thank you.
That's where people are still coming up.
There's right here. If you guys want any, feel free to use them. If you open the bag, please throw the tray.
If you fast forward a lot more,
that's okay, but they're right there if you want.
Brad, you'll get to the point, where they're going to take off.
I don't know if I would have the nerve to get on that.
Hey, Al, pop us off the screen.
What's that?
Take us off the screen.
Okay.
There you go.
Yep, keep going forward. And right about there. Oh, he's already flying, isn't he, Jenna? Yeah.
Well, he controls. I mean, you can see the throttles there for the plane, and he's monitoring the RPMs, the oil pressure.
So
all
those knobs he has his right hand on are the throttles,
Yeah,
and the pilot's just basically give me some more.
pretty much.
And he's taxiing down the runway now, Brad.
Wow.
And so the pilot is not usually using his normal sticks on the right hand side to give it throttle. The engineer it.
Yeah. So here we're waiting actually for one of the planes to come in. So we were waiting there for a little bit of time, which is interesting because from that view you actually see a P-51 fly by.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that earlier. And
So-
there it is, taking off, man.
Yeah. So here he's taking off, and so this is my flight on a B-29 during the World War II weekend in Reading, Pennsylvania. I sat behind the pilots so that I could actually see what they're doing, and the flight engineer. I didn't want to be where that guy in the red hat is because, yeah, you do get gorgeous views. Don't get me wrong, but you also get gorgeous views, as you can see, looking out the rest of the plane. But you can see what else is going on, which is amazing.
That is a cool flight right there. I would love to be in that.
It's absolutely amazing, and you get to stand up. You can look down through the crawl tube, where people would crawl through the back of the plane over the bomb bay, to the front. And you can't do that now. Well, I mean, you could, but you can't. And right behind me is the navigator's table, and the navigator who flew on, navigated the Enola Gay, signed the map on that plane, and I got a little shot of that video somewhere else. So, it just a lot of immense, incredible history on this type of plane. And I do mention in that plane, or that the development program for this plane actually cost more than the development program for the atomic bomb.
Oh, wow.
A lot of more moving parts.
A lot of more moving parts. Yeah, and that's where you would go, to the back of the plane. This is one of the turrets that you look out. You could look at. It was the first pressurized plane, like ever. It was like the first pressurized plane. It was the first plane to have computer guided guns, which are right there, and there's also some all over the place.
Wow. That is such a cool thing.
It just...
Reading, Pennsylvania, guys.
In Reading, Pennsylvania, it's like being on a movie set for 3 days. Because everything there is, World War II, it's authentic. Here we are, we're actually flying over the field, the air show field right now.
Now, Jenna, was the nose down right now so y'all can get a better view of it, or is that that flying horizontal?
No, that's the way it looks.
How many people to take to steer that thing? I see 3 people turning the wheel.
Actually, the pilot, he's steering it. The co-pilot virtually, he rarely had his hands on the yoke, on the wheel.
I saw that.
So this guy right here is doing most of the work.
He's doing most of the work.
I mean, a car with 4 steering wheels.
He's like, yeah, whatever. And so,
he's got a busy instrument panel to take care of.
It was just amazing.
Was that the landing? That was pretty cool.
I backed up a little bit. I went too far.
Well, actually, what also is amazing, I have to redo it because I'm missing a critical part on another video I'm going to redo. Is last year I have a 360 camera on the back of, or on the outside of Fifi. And that is an interactive 360 video taken
You
from the
don't wanna
bottom
go-
of the plane. And I need to repost that video because part of it didn't post. I don't know why, but it didn't. So I'm going to repost that video. That's full interactive 360. You can see
How did
the bottom of the plane as it's taking off and landing and everything.
how did this feel right here, Jenna, as y'all were approaching? Did you feel comfortable with that?
Oh, it was fine.
Oh, cool.
Not a problem at all.
He's definitely working the yoke now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see it right there.
Bryan, come back. You missed the yoke action, buddy. He was really flying at that time. Back up a few seconds for him.
Yeah,
there.
go ahead, back up. Check it on my
Oh,
car.
sorry, went too far.
He's coming in for a landing,
All right.
Bryan, and you'll see that he's really working.
Oh, I did it again. Hold on, let me let it go. Let me let it go for a second.
Too
Sorry,
scary.
Yeah.
everybody in the chat, you have to rewatch it again. Hold on. This is cool though, Jenna. You got some great footage here.
Yeah, this footage here is, this view actually inspired the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see him now as you're pulling back.
Uh-huh.
Look at him working that yoke, Bryan.
Yeah.
He's working it now, man. He pulling, pushing, turning. He got it now. And there it is.
It
And
is.
now we got
So I would want to be the guy in the red hat. I'd want to be the guy in the red hat at this point, just to right at the nose of the plane.
Only if we could drop bombs.
I've got 360 video, Brad.
Yeah, you forgot to drop the bombs.
We got to drop the bombs. Exactly.
Tell them to take it back up.
Bryan, I know that
Oh.
you've had a lot of changes going on. I know you got a new kind of phase in your life, and you moved out of your old place, and now you got a new place. And so tell us what's going on, man. What's happening?
Nothing's happening. I'm kind of not working. I actually haven't worked since April.
Oh wow.
So I've been just living on unemployment. That's all. Then doing the bike thing, and I got me not a motorcycle, but it's a big scooter, a Suzuki scooter, a 400cc scooter. Gigantic.
400cc scooter.
Yeah.
Bryan, I'm gonna bring my truck and my trailer, and I'm gonna come up there and pick up a couple of those e-bikes from you because I've always wanted to ride one.
Well, you live a lot closer to Al, so you can just ride over there and grab
Oh,
one.
that's right, Bryan. I haven't told Brad or Jenna I bought an e-bike.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I rode.
well, wait a
it
minute.
out.
That means there's only one. We can't ride together.
Oh, believe me, once he gets into going on this one, he'll get another one.
Yeah, believe me, it's one of those things.
We'll have to
Because
get a little sidecar. It'll be a little sidecar.
bounce them off the rocks as you're going along.
I'm not riding in the side.
It'll be like a skateboard. It'll be like a skateboard.
Those e-bikes are a lot of fun, man. Believe me, a lot.
Wait a minute, Jenna. We know what happened at Minefield when Al rides somebody else's thing.
You see Brad's knees up to his chins in the sidecar.
No, my legs hanging out of the sidecar.
Well, I rode a pretty good trail today, Bryan. It was along the river, man, and I was like, "Oh crap, no mistakes allowed." And I had it in full assist getting up the hill,
Yeah,
and I was still pumping as hard as I could to get up.
yeah,
And thank goodness everything held up.
yeah. Okay.
No spills, made it. It was challenging.
Did you have the pedal assist on the right setting, or?
Yeah, but it's only 350 watt motor.
Oh, well, I mean, I have one that's a 300-watt motor. It'll go up any hill.
Yeah, but these are riverbanks, so they're
Yeah.
tough. They're tough.
Okay.
They're,
All right.
they're like rocky and bouncy roots, and we'll have to plan an outing. If you come down to Richmond, or I can come up, you probably have tons of trails up where you live.
Oh, I got the trails.
Oh yeah, I know you got the trails.
Pennsylvania has the bike trails. I mean, they got the bike trails.
I would love to do that.
Oh my
I'm ready
God,
to go
there's
out.
So many trails here. Well, they got the one that runs all the way from Pittsburgh all the way to Washington D.C. That's the big one. That's the big dog right there.
Just
And
don't ride.
people go on that thing. They get these regular pedal bikes, with these big giant saddlebags.
I know.
And they make this 350-mile trip because there's like, I don't know, every 50, 60 miles on this trail, there's like place for you to camp. So, people just I don't know how many days it would take you to do this, but, I guess you could probably go at least 100 miles a day, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
We need a chase car, man. We need a chase car.
Right. Well, people do that too. They get these trailers for the back of the bike too. They get,
we need a generator to recharge
and stuff, but people put their tents and stuff in there.
Well, we need if it's doing 350 miles.
You're not doing it with an electric bike. You got to get a regular bike. You can take the electric bike and get the first 20 miles in.
You're going to be carrying too much dead weight.
The bad thing about electric bikes is that they don't pedal as well as a regular bike.
Because you got to generate power with them, right? So they're going to be a little different.
It's just the way they have them configured. They
got
just
extra weight,
all the weight.
Friction.
They weigh 3 times what a regular bike weighs. So you have the weight ratio going on there. It's a lot easier to pedal something that weighs 20 pounds than it does to pedal something that weighs 70 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's not geared the same either.
Pardon?
It's not geared the same.
No, they're not geared the same.
And on top of that, the tires are different too. They're fatter.
Yeah. I have that 4-inch tires on my one real nice bike.
Yeah, I love the 4-inch so far. So,
no,
Brad, you're welcome to ride it.
I only have 4 bikes left, but I sold like 15 bikes before when I moved because I wasn't going to bring all them bikes to this new place. So, but I got new ones coming. I got one coming at the end of the month. Some company sending out.
So what is
Brian? I'm 6 foot. I'm 6'4", so I need one that'll fit me. So keep me in mind.
They make 26. I would recommend you get a 26-inch bike if you're 6'4". So I wouldn't recommend anything smaller than that for you. Now, personally, for me, I like 20-inch bikes because I'm a midget. So I like smaller bikes, but a 26 or a 27.5 would be something good for you.
Hey, you got a kitty cat back there.
And they make those in the e-bike?
Yeah, they have them in e-bike. I think Al got a 26. I think that's a 26-inch bike. Yeah, a 20-inch bike would be to your legs would be coming up and hitting you upside the jaw. Your knees would be smacking you in the face. So you wouldn't want to go there. You'd want to
sidecar.
Yeah, sidecar, right?
Brad,
I have a hard time
got that image.
I have a hard time pedaling myself, let alone a damn sidecar with somebody sitting in it.
Well, I definitely learned my lessons at Barclays. It's like Barclay scooter, man. Don't ride without a helmet.
No sidecar with Al, not me.
Hey, Al, the other day when we were talking on the phone, okay, I went to the trail and the thing broke down. The bike broke down.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. Just like, and the last time I talked to you when I was on the trail, I had a crash, remember? Yeah. And now this time the damn bike broke down.
Well,
5 miles from the car. I had to walk 5 miles back to the car.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, man. I thought I was going to die.
Did you, what would you have, 70 pounds to push all the way back?
The bike, what happened was the battery, one of the cells went bad in the battery. Yeah. And the way bikes are, and even electric cars are the same way. With these lithium ion batteries, if you have a whole battery array, okay, so you have this whole battery array, and then one of these cells go bad in one of those batteries, well, that's the end. It won't jump over the bad cell.
Oh, wow.
That's the end of it right there. So it'll run until it hits the bad cell. And
so they're in series, not parallel, right?
Oh, man.
Right. And even in cars, they're the same way.
Right.
So you hit a bad cell in a Tesla, the car's stopping right there.
There's no redundancy in the battery, the way they set those batteries up. If they were in parallel now, that would be a different story, right?
Right. But it just stops. Stone cold, just dead stop.
So, do you have a preferred manufacturer? I
Yeah,
know that.
ones that send them to me for free. Them are the they're all, I mean,
Those are the best
let's be
ones.
realistic here. They're all made in China, right? So what you want to do is you want to get the company that has the best customer service. And so that's what you're going to look for. So you're looking at like Saunders or Electric or Rad Runner. Those are the reputable companies that you're not going to have a bunch of crap or have any problems like that. But if you start going with a lot of this, these off companies, if you don't know about bikes, like if you guys ever were looking at one, just get a hold of me and I'll tell you if they're any good or not. Don't buy anything if you're not sure, because you can get some. There's so many. The electric bike scene now is so big, it is exploding like you wouldn't believe. That there's so many people trying to jump in, especially the Chinese manufacturers. They're all trying to jump in and make money, So it's pretty hectic right now.
Yeah, I noticed they stole a lot of the
outfits jumping in there, producing these bikes. So
Yeah, Brian,
you just got to be careful what you buy. You want good customer service. That's the main thing. And believe me, these bikes that have the good customer service, they're not much more than the other ones. You're paying a couple bucks more. That's all.
Yeah. I noticed that a lot of the Chinese manufacturers stole a lot of the Saunders designs and went over.
Right.
That's
that's what the Chinese do. They
yeah,
steal.
that
So
smart
they're good at
step,
it.
man, that folding system with the smart step.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, I've seen that design. They stole that one.
Well, I mean, almost all bikes are, even from these reputable companies, they're all just rebranded, and that's just the way it is. You could buy a nice bike imported from China and you can save $300 on the bike, but you're not going to get the customer service. See, that's where the customer service comes in. And that's why you're better off, especially if you're new getting into it. You really want to go with a reputable company until you get your feet wet and you know what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just don't want to take that. See, the problem is they ship you these bikes. Okay. So they're made in China. So they send you one. And what happens if the things don't work? You want to send that thing back to China? No, you don't want to do that. Okay. So it would cost you 20. You ever notice, like, you go and buy something online, say you bought an electric bike online, and you'll go to the company website and it'll say free shipping. And you're like, okay, it's $9.99 free shipping. So you send them the $1,000 and they send you the bike and you're ready. Go send it back to them. Then it costs $5,000 to send it back. How can they ship it for free? But you got to spend $5,000 to send it back to them. I never could figure this out. Okay, that's one of the quandaries of the shipping business. They can send it for nothing, but it costs you millions of dollars to ship it back.
They've got 5,000 other ones in the same container, but if you send it back, it's the only one in the container.
Right, yeah, right.
You got to pay for the whole container.
Right.
True.
Go ahead and try to send something to China, see what happens.
So, Brian, let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you do any mods or modifications to your bikes?
I have a few videos for that. I'll do I don't do much with the gearing and all that kind of crap because I'm an anti-pedal guy. I don't like the pedal. Okay. I'm more of the throttle type person. So I really don't care about sprocket sizes and that. I don't care about that. But I do battery mods. I'll try to figure out how to add an extra battery or carry an extra battery. And most of these battery connectors are JST type stuff. And you open the controllers and all that, you'll see all that stuff once you open all that up. Yeah, it's really like Dean's connectors, JST connectors. You'll see all that stuff once you open these up. Right. It's really not hard to modify most of these bikes to wiggle on some kind of aftermarket battery.
To run another battery in parallel. Gotcha. Yeah. So questions, do you do any jailbreaks?
on the
the controllers.
I don't personally do that. Usually what the companies will do when they send me the bike, they'll give me the code, because there's always a code to jailbreak the control. You don't have to do it with the controller. There's always a code, but see, these companies, to prevent themselves with the liability and from getting sued, they can't. I mean, these electric bikes can go 40 or 50 miles an hour, but people will get killed and they'll get their asses sued off. So they have to they have to lock them down.
Yeah, we got the electronic governor.
Right. They just put that on it. But there is a way to unlock them suckers. You just got to know how to do it. Right. Now, I know how to do it on a lot of them. Because a lot of them, these companies, they use the same code, you know. It always has something to do with the up and down arrow on the control. You got to figure it out. Up, two, up. It's like a Konami code on a video game. Up, two, down, two, this one and that one, and the plus minus. There you go.
And we see the three blinking lights turn left.
Right. Okay. So I remember this one company sent me this real expensive bike last year. It was a $2,000 bike. And they sent me the code, and they made me agree never to give this code out for this bike. And I never did. But people, boy, they in the comments constantly bugging you for the code. I said, look, I just can't. You know,
go bug the other guy.
Yeah, go bug the other people for the code. I'm not doing it because the bike went really fast. As a matter of fact, I sold the bike to my future boss, and I didn't even give him the code.
Gotcha. So if you were to recommend 3 accessories, must-have accessories to a beginner e-biker, what would they be?
Well, the most important accessory would be the rack, the back rack. And that's one of the catches on these bikes. This is like a car thing. Oh, do you want air conditioning? Well, yeah, you want air conditioning. Okay, so when you buy a bike, a lot of bikes won't have a rack. They'll get you for that later for the $50. Okay, so you always want to have a rack because you always want to take something and carry something with you when you're going out on the trail.
A drone.
Yeah, and then, right. Well, that's what I was using it for originally.
Right.
Okay? And then you always want to have folding pedals. That's another key thing. And them are cheap. You can get them on Amazon for $14 for a set of those. And I would say that's probably and then a decent cup holder or a little bag for the front. Because I always carry an emergency kit with me when I'm going on the trails. I always carry like these little CO2 cartridges of air. I don't carry a pump. Those little CO2 cartridges with a hose, those work great.
Oh,
for
okay.
Emergency repairs.
Do you carry inner tubes?
No. I just pump the air and hurry up and start pedaling back.
And
then
get another CO2 cartridge,
pump
it in, and go.
About 4 of them in my bag.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, you fill the thing up, and then you just start hauling ass back. And,
Put maximal pedal. It says
right. You can usually get a couple of miles before it goes back flat. Then you go there and pump it up again, and then hit it, and go a couple more miles. So that's the way it works. In my bag, I have the hose. I keep and the piercing mechanism and 4 cartridges. That's in my emergency kit. Then I keep like a little adjustable wrench, a screwdriver, those types of things,
But I always ask those questions.
But the only thing is, it doesn't help you when the battery dies. Okay, that's
dead weight, brother. It's dead weight.
It does nothing for you when the battery hits the.
And that's what I was feeling today, going up these steep, muddy, rocky hills. Man, I was like, man, I am pushing some dead weight up this hill right now, because, like you said, you get to that point of what it can torque up and what you got to carry up, right? And
then you're putting a major amount of strain on the battery when you're doing that too.
And not only that, your legs
really wiping out the battery.
So
whenever you ride an electric bike, you should always the most of the draw of the battery is from taking off. Okay, so you always want to take off with your feet first. You want to pedal out of the start line. And then once the bike's rolling, then you want to give it the throttle. That will save you tons of battery life right there. That little tip right there will save you a lot of battery life right there.
Yeah, because you're not going to find a Tesla charging station behind the next tree.
Yeah, I know. I should. The next trailhead should have them. But Pennsylvania is like the king of trails. I'll tell you, they got the nicest trails here for bikes.
Now they're going to have something.
The only thing they got. It's any good, but
Now they're going to have like a glamping special place, so where you can glamp and charge your bike at the same time.
Well, yeah, I don't even recall all these places I've been to if they even had an outlet there. I never even thought about ever bringing the charger with me on one of these bike trips.
How big are the chargers though?
It's like a little bigger than
The
your
chargers
laptop.
are about this big, you know.
Oh,
You
okay.
got the plug and you plug them in. They're not that.
It's a brick. It's a brick.
Yeah, it's a big brick. Yeah.
You know, it's like an Xbox brick or something like, or a computer brick.
Yeah.
One of them.
I'm telling you, we had a good time talking about all this stuff. The Mini 4 and e-bikes and Jenna's
I know
special.
Brad's over there salivating for this Mini 4. He probably got it in his Amazon cart. He said, I'm going to wait to talk to these guys tonight to see if I want to do it.
As soon as you said that, he started rubbing his head. So, yeah.
No, I won't be doing it anytime soon. I would like to have it, but it'll be a little while.
Well, I haven't bought a Mini in a long time. The last one I bought was the Autel Nano Plus, which I still
got
have
that.
and really enjoy.
Right, I got that. Yeah, I still have that one.
It just, and I like the no-fly zone thing. That one's going to, I think everything else is going to get sold. Because
I'll tell you what, that Nano Plus, the color on that thing is, none of my drones can touch the color on that.
And Brad, you probably have to agree. That day we flew at your house, and I had the Nano Plus, and you had yours. Well, we were flying side by side. We were looking at our displays, and we're like, "Wow!" I think you're right about that, Brian. Because Brad and I were
the Autel has the deeper saturation, which is what I like. You know,
okay.
The saturation on the Autel videos are always more than the DJI. You know, you can add that in in the post if you want, but Autel just throws that in for you as a bonus. You know, they do that in camera for you. You know, you don't have to add it in later. It's included.
Your Facebook filter included.
Yes, right.
Well, I think we're going to have to wrap it up, guys. We're running a few minutes over. Brian, thanks for joining us. It was really fun.
I just want to ask Jenna one question. Now, Jenna, you weren't even the least bit scared when you were in there getting ready to take off, right?
No,
of course
not at all.
No,
if anything, I was more apprehensive. We'll use that word. When I flew in the B-25.
Okay.
Last year.
Yeah, that was last year when I flew in the B-25. That plane, I mean, it's so much smaller and it's a lot more cramped and amazing how loud that plane is. I mean, you got to wear, the mufflers and everything else. Like because I've flown in the B-24, the B-17, the B-29, and the B-25. The B-25 is just, I mean, it's an amazing plane. It's unbelievable they took that plane off of a carrier deck when in April 42, I think it was, the Doolittle raid on Tokyo.
Right, the Doolittle raid, that's what they used.
Amazing.
Modified,
They stripped that thing down to nothing, remember?
Right.
They took everything out of that thing, and they just put enough bombs in it to make a show of it.
It was just incredible.
Well, they just put enough bombs in there to scare the shit out of the Japs.
Yeah, it was a good show, no doubt.
Yeah. And it did, too. It worked.
It worked.
Yeah,
exactly.
It worked. Absolutely, it worked.
All right, guys, I'm going to cut this thing off. So you all have a good week. And once again, Brian, Jenna, Brad, wonderful time. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you